had left. Nobody noticed him. Nobody ever did. But that night, from the corner of her glass office, the CEO did. She had stayed late for paperwork, and through the silence of her empire of wealth and ambition, she found her eyes drifting toward the man pushing his mop. He was not clumsy, not sluggish like someone tired of invisible labor. He moved with patience, as if each swipe carried a weight beyond dirt and water. She didn't know then why she lingered watching him, but something in the quiet humility of that man hooked her, and it wouldn't let her go. When the office lights dimmed and the building emptied, she did something no one would expect from a woman of her position. She followed him. Not out of suspicion, but out of a strange, unexplainable pull. What she discovered that night would shake her world in ways that money could never prepare her for. The janitor's name was Daniel, though no one at the company bothered to ask. His shift ended at midnight, but instead of heading home to collapse, he walked with urgency, as though the real work was only beginning. The CEO trailed him carefully, her luxury car creeping at a distance, heart pounding with the thrill of secrecy. Daniel's path led through streets she rarely acknowledged, corners of the city where the shine of her high-rise empire could not reach. She saw him stop outside a dimly lit apartment complex. It was worn, its paint peeling, its windows tired. He unlocked a door and stepped inside, and she, after a pause, parked nearby and slipped into the shadows. Through a cracked curtain, she saw what she hadn't expected: a little girl rushing into his arms. Her laughter was soft but bright, the kind of laughter money couldn't buy. Daniel scooped her up, spinning her in a way that made the girl forget the world outside their fragile home. It was then that the CEO's curiosity became something deeper. She saw Daniel sit his daughter at the table, pulling out schoolbooks and gently guiding her through lessons. His clothes still smelled of bleach and sweat, but his voice was steady, his patience infinite. When the girl asked for dinner, he opened a fridge nearly empty, pulling together what scraps he could. A single egg, a heel of bread, and a can of beans became a meal. He placed it before her with a smile, as though it were a feast fit for a queen. She ate happily, unaware of the sacrifice threaded into every bite. The CEO felt her throat tighten. She had built towers, signed contracts worth millions, yet she had never witnessed a wealth like this. A man who gave everything, without applause, without recognition. The next night, she returned. And the night after. Each time, she learned more of his quiet life. The daughter, Lily, dreamed of becoming a doctor, her drawings of stethoscopes taped to the cracked walls. Daniel carried secret pains, hospital bills from his late wife's illness, debts that crushed him but never reached his daughter's ears. Every extra shift, every blister on his hands, was a shield to protect her dreams. By the 10th night, the CEO wasn't just following anymore. She was silently changing. She saw how her own world of glittering meetings and endless profits paled against the raw, unpolished beauty of a father's love. One evening, when Daniel's exhaustion nearly broke him, his legs trembling, his breath shallow as he tucked Lily into bed, the CEO finally stepped from the shadows. She knocked gently on his door. He opened it, surprise flashing across his worn face, suspicion in his eyes. "Why are you here?" he asked. She hesitated, words tangled with emotions she had buried for years. "Because I've been watching, and I see you. I see everything you've sacrificed, everything you've carried alone. And I can't turn away anymore." His pride rose like a wall. "I don't need pity," he said. "This isn't pity," she replied firmly. "It's respect. And maybe if you'll let me help." For the first time in years, Daniel didn't know what to say. He had lived unseen for so long that being recognized felt foreign, almost dangerous. But when he looked back at Lily, sleeping peacefully with her dreams still intact, his heart softened. Maybe accepting help wasn't weakness. Maybe it was another way to love. Over the weeks that followed, the CEO wove herself carefully into their lives, not with handouts, but with genuine care. She arranged for Lily's school to waive certain fees, sponsored her secretly so the girl never felt less than others. She made sure Daniel had safer hours, lighter burdens, without stripping him of the dignity he held onto. She listened to his stories, his grief, his small joys, until she realized she wasn't rescuing him, he was rescuing her from the emptiness of a life filled with numbers but no meaning. The story didn't end with riches suddenly showering down or debts erased by a signature. It ended with something stronger. Two lives from different worlds crossing, changing, and filling each other's cracks. A janitor who carried love like a crown, and a CEO who discovered that true wealth was never in the empire she built, but in the heart she chose to touch. And for those who watched their story unfold, one truth echoed long after: sometimes the people the world overlooks carry the greatest lessons. Sometimes the most ordinary lives hold the most extraordinary love.